All right, welcome back to another chit chat. We back in action for another stuff, another talking, another yap session. We're here to talk about life. Because I find it funny that most people like talking about the things in life, right? The things that's going on in life, but they don't talk about life itself. That's the craziest part. Let me talk about a pet peeve of mine. You know what I don't like? I don't like when someone who is less competent, less capable than I am, tell me what to do. I don't like that. Now, it's not to say that I can't receive instruction and I can't submit to order and stuff. Like, I love doing and playing my part and sticking to my lane. But when someone is put in a position of authority and they don't even know what they're doing, but then they're telling you what to do, bruh. Receiving instructions from someone who knows what they're doing, who's about the task, who's about the responsibilities and stuff like that, and they know the intricacies and the ins and outs, and they can warn you for the mishaps that they've been through, and they could tell you, okay, yo, watch out for that pitfall. These people who are experienced, they have more of the authentic essence of information than someone who's just put in a position of power. Like, you got to think about it like a game of telephone, right? You know those little icebreakers that you used to do in school just to get the names of the new kids in class and all that. The teacher would say some message to the first kid, and then they would have to whisper the message to the next kid's ear. And at the end of the classroom, we will find out if the message was the same going from student to student. And the message at the end was never the same as the original message in the beginning. And what that taught us, alongside of building rapport with one another, it taught us that information that goes from person to person can and will be altered by the person who hears it, processes it, right? Depending on their processing power, like how they process information is the way how they spit it back out. And then once they spit it back out, it might be lost in translation. The translation gets misrepresented, or the way how they said it, it brings a different connotation, and then the other person picks it up in a different way. So then they translate it into a bad translation as well. And it's so on and so forth until the message is completely different from the original. The reason why this bothers me is because there's people who don't value the truth, right? They don't value the information and passing it on in a authentic way. They don't value that. They value power and jurisdiction over other people. That's what they value. They want to be more powerful than you. And the way how they do that is by tricking you with information. And when I first spawned out in this game of life, I was a person that was very literal. I took every word that everybody said as, this is fact. It must be a fact if they're speaking it. This is fact. And I would listen to I would hang on to people's words and be like, oh yeah, they wouldn't trick me. They wouldn't do anything to deceive me, until I started seeing how messed up I would get myself, right? From listening to commands of others, from listening to other people tell me how life is and how you should be lifing. One thing that I've noticed about this world is that it wants you to not trust your own judgment, to not trust your own eyes, basically. Like, you're not supposed to think for yourself. You're supposed to think through a culture that is propagated for you, that's set up for you, that your identity can only consist through this median. Every time I ask questions, I ask a question that goes against the grain, right? Every time, they always shame you. They always punish, they always make it seem like it's a bad thing to use your brain. I'm telling you, man, like, so here's a first example. Religion. When I was in my Christian faith and all of that stuff, Jesus Christ is the Lord and Savior, all of that, right? Then you start questioning stuff. You're like, wait, hold on. What about the people that don't know about Jesus? What's going on with them? There's people on Sentinel Island, uncontacted tribes. It's people all over the place that don't know about Jesus. Are they just going to go to hell? Let's open up this envelope a little bit more, right? Because we're talking about the Abrahamic faith, the Abrahamic God, okay? Which I do not consider the God of all things. I think that the Abraham religion, or the Abrahamic God, is a fallen angel. That is not God of all things, okay? And matter of fact, let me pull up a Bible verse so that you guys can see the characteristics of this God. Okay, it's coming out of Genesis 17, chapter 1. And Abraham was 90 years old and 9, and the Lord appeared to Abraham. There we go again with the Lord appearing, right? Why is the Lord not appearing nowadays? Just think, bro. Taking it up back from chapter 17, verse 11. And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant between me and you. Every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house or brought with money of any stranger, which is not of thy seed, he that is born in thy house, and he that is brought with thy money, must needs be circumcised. And my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. This is crazy, bro. First of all, this sounds like a deal with the devil. Like, oh, make a covenant for me and do this to your body so that we can have this covenant and you will have nations among nations. And it sounds like a deal with the devil, man. I'm just saying, bro. When you question things like this in the Bible, the people who hold the faith of Christianity, they don't actually want to have a discussion with you because they don't even know what they believe in. They just believe in a narrative and they don't actually spend time processing the belief system. They don't process the book. They don't even read it. That's what leads me to believe that, most people are not for the truth, because these same people who don't do their due diligence to really find out the information, to really understand what they're talking about, they're going to try to put you in a corner now. They're going to try to emotionally attack you like, oh, you're just this and you're just that and you're just this and that and this and that. And they're just trying to attack your character, right? When you start questioning things, they start attacking your character like, oh, you're a blasphemous person. You're a bad person. You're bad for questioning things. When I was a kid, I would fall for this. Like, you know what? Maybe I am a bad person for using my brain. I should stop using it. Nah, bro. They would never convince me of that. Bro, like, I started understanding my emotions, that people, although you can have the truth, right? You can be a person who knows what's really going on and you could say it, but then the mob mentality, the people who only follow other people, the human centipedes, right? They're gonna come and attack you and they're gonna try to put you back in your place. This is why stoicism is a key component when it comes to developing yourself in life. It's a key component, man. Stoicism, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, all of these great philosophers, they understood this concept that people are very ridiculous. They're very immature, right? The majority of people, the surface level people. And they will, even though you're speaking the truth that is both beneficial for you and them, they will still attack you and ridicule you because they're fools, and fools like self-destruction. And when I say the word fool, it is not an insult. When I call somebody stupid, foolish, all of that stuff, that is not an insult. It's a classification. What I like to do is I like to classify who I'm dealing with, because when you get emotionally worked up off of somebody who doesn't care, who's trolling, right? Like somebody who's trolling, like, oh yeah, I like to see you get mad. Yeah, I feed off of that energy. You don't want to give that energy to someone who wants to see you upset. You don't want to do that, right? So you have to learn how to discern from the sincere people and the insincere people. And life is way too short for you to give all your energy to things, people, places, whatever, that doesn't value your energy, that doesn't value you. A fool in my eyes is a self-deletionist, someone who has a lot of self-hatred. They do self-destructive behaviors and they carry it on to other people. They want to see other people self-destruct. It's like a virus. It's a mental virus that happens and it tries to spread, right? Misery loves company. That's why you come across somebody that's miserable out of nowhere. They're trying to spread their energy. They're trying to spread that self-destructive nature. Now, when it comes to this book, I still don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, okay? Because, a lot of people, they turn into extremists. Every time they find something that's nuanced in their life, they become an extremist. They're like, oh, well, this must be the ultimate answer then, instead of finding balance. I still follow the words of JC, you know what I'm saying? I still follow the words of Yahshua, because I think that this person was an actual person that existed. And what happened to him was that a religion was formed out of him. And it's so hilarious how the religion was made, because the very thing that Jesus was crucified for is the very thing that Christians would crucify you for if you found out that God and the kingdom of heaven is within you, that you are a part of God. And they would think that this is blasphemous. This is all blasphemous. No, only Jesus is the living God, and we must bow down and worship him because he's the only perfect thing, and we can never be as perfect. So we just have to be as sinners and just wait for him to come back. But here's a verse from Jesus himself. There's a verse from Yeshua himself. And the reason why I keep on bringing up verses is because I already know the script that's going to come from Christians. They're going to be like, oh, well, you're just twisting the words, or you're just making up beliefs, and you're a false prophet. I am no prophet. I'm a student of life, and I question things with the God-given brain I was given. And this is what Jesus said about people like them. This verse comes out of Matthew 23, verse 24. Ye blind guides, which strain at the gnat and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye are like unto whitened sculptures, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones, and of uncleanliness. Even so, ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. See, Jesus understood the hypocrisy in the people that were following him, because it's just like when an artist blows up, like, you know, famous example, Steve Lacy, right? He was an artist that was on TikTok that made I wish I knew you wanted me. That song. When he blew up and became mainstream, his core fan base saw the journey that he went through to be who he was. And then you had the TikTok fame that just came in with a bunch of people who don't really give a damn about the process. They're only like, oh, a famous person. Oh, let me jump on the bandwagon. You have those people that only follow the crowd. And that's what majority of people who are on Team Jesus, or who say that they're Christians, they're actually just following the crowd. They don't actually process the information for themselves. They're just following tradition. When you come along with questions and skepticism and you're thinking differently, it challenges them. It makes them have to think more. And people are intellectually lazy, bro. They don't want to pull more brain cells to try to make a connect. No, man, they just want to be told what is real and what is not. They don't want to investigate themselves. I was going over the story of Jesus Christ from when he was born to the crucifixion to all of that. And throughout his whole life, this man had to defend himself. He has to defend himself from the very people that believe in him. The very people that believe in him, they were like, oh, you're a devil worshiper. You're casting spells. You're doing all of these miracles and wonderful things. You must be the devil. You must be the... And every time he had to clarify himself and say, no, I speak of the kingdom of heaven and the Lord and this and that. I come from my Father who art in heaven. And people were still on his ass telling him, no, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. If Jesus were to be around, I think this is what would happen if he was around today.
Gather closely. May I use your glasses? What you're about to see is not a trick, okay? It's just, let's call it an experiment in energy. Well, everything there is getting this is made up of some living energy, okay? So, all this is kind of a dance or a partnership between the energy coming from me and the energy of the plastic. Now that's it.
Well, why can't we do it?
Well, focus, clarity of thought. I don't know. Maybe you can, Baines.
What about the UFOs? What are they?
I don't know that either.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. This power began the night that you saw the object in the sky.
That was a light. Now, let me just finish this one thing. Now, we're talking about a partnership. Do you know what the largest living organism in the world is? It's a grove of aspen trees in Colorado, acres of aspens. Okay, now they thought they were disconnected, separate, but indeed they found out that they weren't. That there was one giant organism with the same root system.
Oh, what sort of light was it?
Now that's not unlike
Answer the
us.
question.
We think
Why
that,
won't you
that
tell
we're
us what you know
disconnected,
about
that
the
we're separate.
UFOs?
You sure it wasn't the table?
But you know,
How did you feel when you saw that? I think you know more than you're telling us.
We're not now.
But the aliens
Imagine if
I
you
haven't
don't
seen the
believe
light
you.
since the 28th or
decided
any
to
other
be a part of
activity. Are you hiding something?
That's exactly what would happen in today's climate if Jesus were to return. It's exactly what would happen. A bunch of fools who don't like wisdom. They don't like wisdom. They don't like knowledge. They don't like none of that. They like the image.